Sometimes on this show, I like to talk about forgotten things. Sometimes those things are forgotten for seemingly no reason at all. Other times it is possible to theorize about valid reasons, some of which may even seem quite likely. This week I'm really going off the deep end. Any amateur can sit here and talk to you about a band that released only one album. The group I'm talking about here today released a single. Yeah, sadly, I am not going to be able to tell you very much about Trey. I doubt anyone could, other than the people involved. In fact, I'll probably end up telling you more about the group that discovered them, but I'll do my best to stay on topic. See, back in the 90s, there was a titanically successful rap group from Cleveland, Ohio called Bone Thugs-n-Harmony. Maybe you know their Grammy Award-winning single that debuted at #1 on the Billboard charts, The Crossroads. Yeah, these guys were the biggest stars in the world when I was in 8th grade. My friends and I even dressed up like them for Halloween that year. Do us a favor and please don't look into it. After the release of their worldwide smash hit multi-platinum selling album E1999 Eternal, they started their own label called Mo Thugs, and started releasing albums by the collective of Cleveland area rappers and musicians known as Mo Thugs Family. This was a pretty common thing for rappers back then. Someone gets a taste of success and they start raising up their peers. Or they decide to give back to the artistic community that supported them by putting their clout and connections behind some unsung talents. One of these talents was an R&B group called Trey. Don't bother trying to Google them, by the way. Trey consists of 3 women named Kimberly Cromartie, Rebecca Forsha, and Nicole Williams. Bone Thugs originally featured them on a remix of their 1995 hit song, First of the Month. For your reference, I will start by playing you a piece of the original version. Now this is the remix, featuring a re-recorded vocal track from Bone, as well as the members of Trey on background vocals. See if you can notice anything different. Bone Thugs were renowned for their smooth, rapid-fire vocals and their ability to carry a tune. But Trey, they could really sing. Like on the level of a legit gospel choir, to the point where it runs the risk of upstaging them. Fortunately, despite being arguably the biggest stars in the rap world at the time, Bone were apparently not too shy about sharing the spotlight.
Trey is down with Bone Thugs in Cleveland.
So that was their first collaboration as far as I could tell, but it wouldn't be their last. Later on, they got to showcase their singing style in the beginning of Bone Thugs-n-Harmony's video for The Crossroads. Then, in 1996, Mo Thugs Family released their mixtape/Cleveland compilation album, Family Scriptures. Featuring the likes of Bone affiliates Poetic Hustlers, Graveyard Shift, Ken Dog, not that one, Soulja Boy, not that one either, Too True, and Trey themselves, who factored prominently in the chorus of the group's first single, Thug Devotion. The album also had a couple of songs by Trey themselves, as if they were being positioned as the breakout stars of the Mo Thugs Family collective. In fact, the song Take Your Time, featuring Bone Thugs-n-Harmony member Krayzie Bone, was also released as a single. Sometimes it's listed as a Krayzie Bone song featuring Trey, but I take severe issue with this designation. I owned this single on CD, and it was clearly a Trey song.
So baby, take your time, help me ease my mind.
This is one of those funky, downbeat, mid-tempo jams in the vein of a group like En Vogue, with special emphasis on the harmony vocals placed front and center. Lyrically, it's about the virtues of taking things slow when it comes to a new relationship, which is a pretty unique perspective for the mid-90s.
The word love is a hell of a word to be saying.
I don't think it was that big of a hit, but I personally hear a lot of potential in just this one song. Something about those vocals just strike me as the kind of thing that could have gone on to become an iconic sound in the genre with the right promotion and support.
Every little chance you get, you wanna do me, it's so hard to find the one of a kind.
The album also contains a song, Here With Me, which functions as a proper Trey solo track.
I need you here with me. I love you and love.
This one is much more of a ballad, not quite as infectious, but those vocals are just as powerful as ever. It's a track that's seemingly only there to display another side of the group, and again, it's as if they were being primed for greater things. While it's true that R&B girl groups were pretty much a dime a dozen during this part of the 90s, their close association with established big names and their unique combination of funky hip-hop finesse delivered through powerful, soul-inflected voices were huge assets and would have given them a serious advantage in the music business. But then, I'm not sure exactly what happened here. Trey's career starts promisingly enough, then almost immediately goes cold. Despite the initial boost they received, there didn't seem to be any attempt to build on that momentum. No album was forthcoming. No follow-up single either. Their only contribution to any more Bone Thugs-n-Harmony tracks during this period was to a song of their 1997 double album set, The Art of War, which is a pretty cool song in itself and would normally seem like a generous move from them, but really, a whole 28-track double album and they could only spare them one tiny spot? It doesn't even have every member of Bone Thugs-n-Harmony on the track. It's pretty much just a solo performance from Wishbone, with Trey barely even featured on the hook. I mean, is this even the whole group? They're credited as a group, but it's a far cry from the full chorus harmonized parts they were singing on earlier features. The next Mo Thugs album, Chapter 2, Family Reunion, didn't feature Trey at all, instead focusing on new affiliates like Felicia and Thug Queen. I hate to be speculating too much here, but based on what little evidence I could verify, for all I know, the group disbanded sometime in 1997 and were never heard from again. Unless someone with inside knowledge about the situation chimes in here, I'm going to have to assume that maybe Mo Thugs just wasn't built to last. The label was formed when the members of Bone Thugs-n-Harmony were still very inexperienced in the music industry, and it's entirely possible that they simply didn't have the resources at the time to devote the energy and attention that Trey needed in order to succeed over the long term. According to an Angel Fire page, yes, an honest-to-God Angel Fire page with straight-up 1998-ass color design and layout, which you can still access in the year 2019. Rebecca Forshaw was pregnant during the time when Trey parted ways with Mo Thugs, but even they're not sure whether that had anything to do with the group's apparent breakup. Certainly neither she nor Kimberly Cromartie are credited as having appeared on any other musical releases, although Nicole Williams does have a few post-Trey credits listed on AllMusic, and purportedly appears somewhere on one of Crazy Bone's solo albums. I don't think I know of any group with as mysterious a dissolution as this one. Trey disappeared and fell off the map so quickly, they can scarcely be said to have even existed, and yet they did. The proof lives on, bolstered by its connection to one of hip-hop's most popular 90s acts. The only other information I could find related to Trey was that in 2011, a former Mo Thugs affiliate named Roland Brown apparently tried to sue Bone Thugs-n-Harmony for unpaid royalties, claiming he had co-written both Trey songs from Family Scriptures. The lawsuit, filed in Cuyahoga County, Ohio, went after Bone Thugs, Ruthless Records, Relativity Records, Loud Records, WMG, and Mo Thugs Incorporated for a total of $27 million. Court records are publicly available online, but as of this day, apparently the case has still not yet been resolved. From what I can gather, neither the members of Bone Thugs-n-Harmony nor Trey have ever commented. I am Jacob, and this was Rad 90s Music. I'll see you sometime in the future.